Edit. Thumbnail. Let's change the thumbnail. Okay. Let me get the links out like I usually do during these. Man, I'm feeling out of it today. So I started doing this earlier. I started streaming earlier, but so I started streaming earlier, but the internet outage. Our internet has been like just really bad. But just got like really bad. So like the internet outage. So this is the real one. So anyways, that was like 12 hours ago. I like wholly went to sleep and everything since then. So I should probably today don't know what we're gonna do here. I don't know. This is yes, I'm sick this time. Yeah, that's just about it. Like I got nothing else to add. I was starting to do I was planning to do like another season of the infamous, Survivor cheese dip, but I didn't end up doing it because I'm sick. Yeah, I might sound make an excuse, but no, I'm not. I'm serious. So, got my eyes in the chat right now. One person watching. Okay, that's neat. Thank you. One person is watching. Feel free to say anything in the chat. And if you're a bot, well, there we go. That's just yet another stream of mine that would have a bot on it. So, anyways, yeah, I'm sick. Last time I got sick was in January when I was in the middle, like doing all those Survivor cheese dip streams and whatnot. That was like for the first time I was uploading daily content. It was really cool. Oof. And the time before that, it was December. It was early December. And I just, at the time, I just failed my driver's permit exam. No, it was November. At the time, I just failed my driver's permit test. And my mom had that day, after taking me back from failing my driver's permit test, I had talking just really makes me feel like the cough. So anyways, my mom is taking me to, so my mom takes me to take her test. I fail. She takes me back. She goes with my middle brother, Alex, the one who doesn't give a crap what I do. He doesn't care if you do these streams or, he doesn't care about what goes on just as long as it doesn't bother him. She had him go with her to this place called Half Price Books that was closing down. It's a shame because it's a really cool place. Because they were doing like a half off sale, and Mom got this idea. Because it's like in Diary of a Wimpy Kid. My mom wants to force me to do something I don't want to do because she read this so and so thing in a parent magazine or parents page online and thought it looked really fun and wanted us to try it, and then it goes horribly. That's just about like this is like so this is basically like a scenario from a Diary of a Wimpy Kid book. Anyways, actually, didn't you remember when they made the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul? Well, that's based off, I believe, the 9th book in the series, which was my favorite for a while. But I think they only adapted The Long Haul so they could make a road trip movie because those are popular. But that whole book, I don't know, I haven't seen the movie adaptation because it looked bad. But the book was about, like, his mom read the idea of, like, a family road trip. We should do that. And so she's like, okay, well, I'll have them, like, do the, so she's like, okay, well, I'll go and, like, pack some snacks and everything. We'll go on the family road trip. And so this is like the first of I think 3 books. This came out in 2014, mind you, and I believe this is the first of 3 books. I might be wrong, but they've done, if I'm correct, 3 books, counting that one since then, that have been about the Heffley family going going on vacation. So yeah, 3 books about like the Heffleys going on vacation. And this is but that aside, I'm trying to take a nap because I'm sick and I just like really feel bad that day. I'm like, oh yeah, I just go to bed, forget about this. I like to take a nap. My internal clock is effed. If I go to bed at, if I were to go to bed at, like say for example, if I were to go to bed at 6. I mean, at 6, like, if I were to go to bed at like 10 p.m., I'll wake up at 4 in the morning, and I'll be like, F, what am I going to do in the next several hours? Same thing if I go to bed at 11. If I go to bed before midnight, I'm going to wake up like sometime in the middle of the morning before the sun even rises, and I'm going to be like, and I'm just going to, okay, well, this is my life now. So, and I hear like my mom call me out, and I'm like, oh no. Then she's like, come on, we're gonna do the book club thing I talked about. And so, no, I'm sick. I don't want to do this. It's like the worst day for you to try and drag me into this. No. And she's like, oh, come on, it'll be fun. I'm like, no. And she's like, Eric, come on, you're doing this. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. And then she's like, oh, yes, you will, because I'm telling you to. I'm like, no. And she's like, Eric, you will do this. And and then that meme of like the black guy like squatted down like on all fours on the ground to go to the phone, yelling, "For the love of God! For the love of God! Please! Please! Damn! Damn!" Now that was me. I referenced that. I actually referenced that in the moment. And Mom's like, "Okay, for cussing and yelling at me, you have to do this now. You just have to do this." And I'm like, oh, dang it. So, like, my day was ruined at that moment. My night was ruined. I'd had a bad mood that whole time. Come on, have a good mood about it. So I'm like, no, I'm sick and I want to go to bed. I want to, like, sleep and rest because I'm sore. My nose is stuffy. I got a serious cough. Just please, no. And now she didn't listen. She still insisted I suffer through that. The book we like ended up doing is Don Quixote. We haven't finished it yet. My mom's still making us do that. So, So, anyways, we're so that's like tomorrow. Today is like it's Friday. My brother is back from his trip to Canada. My oldest one, the one who sometimes tunes into these streams. He's sometimes tunes into these streams, and this is normally like the day where my brother Alex and I, we go over to his apartment and chill. And I don't want to go because I'm sick. And every time I'm sick, my brother always gets superstitious. When he was married to his first wife, I remember like he acted. I don't know, like who. I don't blame him for this, but like he was married to his first wife, he acted kind of crotchety. And I remember, and he did tell me like later, like that he didn't like the person he became like when he was married to her, after like the first year or so of marriage. Yeah, back when he was living with my mom, like him and his first wife living with my mom. So I'm sick and I'm just chilling there in the dining room, and I'm chilling in the dining room. I'm doing my schoolwork. So I'm doing my schoolwork, and my brother's eating oatmeal. He's eating oatmeal. He's eating oatmeal by the at the other end of the table, and he sees me breathing through my mouth because my nose is just my nose is just stuffed. I can't breathe through it. And so Nick goes like, oh, God. Eric, you and your dang sick breath. You're going to get us all sick with your sick breath. Breathing through your mouth. You damn mouth breather. I'm like, dang, such hostility. So, what happened? So anyways, what happened next was, actually, I'm trying to think about it. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, I've mentioned that because I mentioned that because my brother is and even still like just I was interning at my brother's workplace, Revelo Paper Company for an internship project for school, and I was sick one day, and I'm like, I'm sick. Should I still come to work? And he's like, no. Just immediately, no, I don't even get it. I don't like immediately, like just no, nothing else. He just says don't come to work. And my mom was like, oh, you should have come because like I went to work and I was sick. I'm like, Mom, you know how David gets whenever I'm sick. And oh goodness, so I'm glad I didn't come before. Like I love David, but he's like when I'm sick, it's just when I'm sick, he gets really superstitious because he's like, it's always one of you. It's always one of you guys like gets me sick whenever like there's some sickness going around your house. And he's like, it's usually you, Eric. It's usually you. And I don't blame him for that because I'm not a very hygienic person. Like I bathe every day, but that's it. I bathe every day. I brush my teeth every day, but I don't like. I'll forget to put on deodorant sometimes. I'll I'll wait. Sometimes I'll wait like a month to change my sheets instead of like waiting the average like week that I normally do. So I'm not the most hygienic person. I'm not like an example of good hygiene. I'm not like an example of like a prime like human being. Like I still consider 2016 to 2020 to I still consider like 2016 to like early 2021 to be like the peak years of my life. Like April being the last like the peak years of my life. Yeah, I fully believe I peaked then. I have like a lot of my best memories are associated with like that that point in time and nothing else. That's why I dug 2020. I would seriously enjoy 2020. Even though Netflix had like that really cringy Death to 2020 comedy special featuring Samuel L. Jackson and whatnot. And they made like a sequel called Death to 2021, which from what I understand is not much better. If at all better. Oh. So earlier I was telling my mom, like, yeah, I'm not going over to David's. I'm sick. And she goes, oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. And then she says, are you going over tomorrow? I'm like, no, probably not. David won't want me over if I'm sick. And she goes like, oh, why aren't you going tomorrow? And suddenly she starts like entering a panic mode. Like, why aren't you going tomorrow? And I'm like, oh, to keep in mind, this exchange just happened. Like, what time is it now? Okay, so this exchange happened about 3 hours ago. So, anyways, she's I'm telling her like I'm not going tonight, and I'm probably not going tomorrow either. And because I'm sick, David doesn't want me around when I'm sick, and because he doesn't want to risk getting sick too. Like I'm gonna be laying there on his beanbag, but do you think like he'd want me getting sickness germs on his OSU beanbag? No, of course not. Of course he won't want me getting sickness germs on his OSU beanbag. So I'm telling my mom, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not going over to on Saturday, and she goes like, well, you should. I'm like, why not? She goes, well, you haven't seen your brother in a long time. I'm like, I know, but I mean, I know he's been gone for almost a month, but I'm not. I don't want to go see. Like him and I aren't like we don't get along too swimmingly. And it's not just that, but I mean like, and it's not just that, but like my brother and I, we on top of like the not getting along too swimmingly thing, it's also like I'm trying to I tried to explain to her. Like, just why am I going? She just won't buy it. She's like, no, yet, I'm not going. And then she tells me like, well, I have a date tomorrow with my boyfriend. I'm like, oh gosh, well, this is it. Oh, our brother and I were here like the last 3 weeks, and you brought your boyfriend over, and it was just fine. Like, yeah, but I'd like to have him over. I'd like to have him over without like anybody here. I'm like, I'll be in my room harking up a lung. You don't have to worry about me. And she's like, oh, I'd be happier knowing that you just weren't here. You're not even sick anyways. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes like, oh, your sister had like really bad allergies. Your brother was having really bad allergies. Though according to my brother Alex is what she's referring to. According to him, he was like actually like really sick on like Saturday, last Saturday, like seriously ill. Yeah, like I had a little bit of allergies too. You had the same thing we all had. I'm like, no, I'm like really sore. So I'm really sore. Like my voice sounds like I'm vague. My voice sounds like I'm trying to do an impression of like one of the toads from Bucky O'Hare. And on top of that, I'm just like feeling like total crap today. Like for the past week, I've been going to bed at 8 after I take my sister to school, and then I go to sleep, and I'm asleep until like 7, and that's like 11 straight hours of sleeping with like occasionally like a half hour of me getting up to fill my Luther Homa water bottle with water, take several big swigs out of it, and then going back to sleep, okay? Like that's almost like 11 hours of uninterrupted sleep with like one break. That's a lot of time. And, oh, gosh. And she's, balls! That hurt. Sorry, my scalp psoriasis just really hurt me for a second there. So, you're going tomorrow. You're going on Saturday. You're not going to be here tomorrow. I'm like, oh my gosh, if he like makes a big deal about like me being there and me being sick, like me potentially getting him sick, and I don't enjoy myself as a result because of it, it's your fault. And like, oh, just be fine. It's like wash your hands extra and like wash your hands extra. Bathe every day while you're over there. Like bathe that night. And like maybe bathe tomorrow too. I'm like, no, I don't want to go because I'm sick. When you're sick, I think like and I vouch for everybody. Like when you're sick, you want to go rest in your bed and just like chill out. Like I don't even get to do that. I get to. I'm gonna hope like I still get to just like stay home tomorrow and stay home tomorrow without like having to worry about it. I really hope. Because like I'm feeling like I've been like under the weather for like since Monday, and I'm still feeling this way. I don't know what it is. Like it got me sick. Maybe I caught it from my brother. Maybe I caught it going to Love's. Maybe I got it from like eating pizza, like eating some slices of pizza from a pizza that we ordered and he ate some of when he was sick on Saturday. I don't know like what exactly is the cause here, but I think that I really think that I'm like and then like oh here we go. There's a little bit of backpedal. So earlier like chicken noodle soup. So earlier she's saying like, oh, like I'm asked what's for dinner. She goes, oh, it's a fin for yourself. I don't want to cook tonight. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm hungry. They go, let's eat something else. It's not really anything here to want to eat. They go, we have chicken noodle soup. It's good for when you're sick. You just eat that, and you're sick. You're sick. You just eat that. Like we have a can of chicken noodle soup in the pantry. I'll find it, and you can like warm it up for yourself. And that's what I had for dinner. It was good. But I oh goodness, I didn't. So I'm just thinking. So then, while I'm eating the chicken noodle soup, and she's working, she's back at work. I'm thinking to myself, no, I'm thinking to myself, she gave this to me because I'm sick. Earlier, she said I'm not sick, so I'm sick unless she wants to win an argument, which in that case I'm not. Funny how that works out like that. You know, I was going back like so. I think the previous picture at an exhibition, like one of the recent ones, I didn't even go into like detail on the album depicted in the cover, and so I didn't even go into detail on the album depicted on the cover. Like the album cover depicted on, I mean, on the album cover depicted like that the artwork is for. So I'm gonna do that here. This is I own this album. I don't even remember what it's called. Let me look it up. Beginnings by Steve Howe, released in 1975. Now, in 1975, Yes was going through a period where it's like, okay, well, we just released like this great album, Relayer, which was the subject, I believe, either the second or third episode of the series, of this podcast series, and the so they all decided, like, Universal, like, okay, how about we all take a break, go do some solo work, and they had like and that was the only album with keyboard virtuoso. That's the only album they did with keyboard virtuoso. That was the only album they did with keyboard virtuoso Patrick Moraz. And Patrick Moraz is a hell of a player, by the way. And gosh, I sound like Joey Diaz. What? Hold up a sec. What? Who in the hell? Hold on a second. I just gotta check something real quick. No way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way, no way. No way, no way, no way, no way. No. What? Okay, well, once I really learned how to like zoom in on things, like in a web page or just like on a computer, like Red Bar does, I really think like that made like a lot of my desktop streams, like the Chiefs of Hunger Games, like peak. Okay, so I can just like find the album artwork here. It's like one instance where like the album artwork differs a bit from the released version of. It's like one instance where like the album artwork differs from the original painting. Okay, let me pull it up here now. No, okay, I got it. Let me pull it up. Let me go to my streaming software. Okay, I'm gonna have to go all the way through to like oh, go all the way through to my image viewing app. This is what, so anyways, yeah, Yes was at this period of like, okay, well, why don't we all like take a break, do some solo work. And, like Patrick Moraz had like, and Chris Squire, like the most acclaimed solo album, was considered like really good, and like John Anderson was considered pretty good too. And I really liked John Anderson's. And, Chris Squire's was like maybe like top 40 favorite albums for me. And I'll have you all know there's a lot of competition there. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this off. Okay. So this is the album artwork. This is Origins by Steve Howe and Beginnings by Steve Howe. And you notice like they edited out like the little cave area here. Like edited out like some of the deeper parts of the cave area. Just like Steve Howe with lots of his guitars on a stand. Little staircase there now. And they really zoomed in on it. And like Steve Howe Photoshop here looks cool, but on the other hand it also looks a little awkward. Like on the one hand it's like, well, this looks a little weird. But on the other hand it's like lucky man got to be in a Roger Dean painting, and I got to like be inside of a Roger Dean painting, and I didn't. And this is like what confused me earlier. If I can, okay, this is like from the linear notes, and I'm like, what? I believe that's his wife and his son Dylan Howe, but I'm not sure. I'm like, wow. I'm like, who are these people? Why are they in like the Steve Howe linear notes? So yeah, that's that. You can tell like here, it's again, it's different. YouTube's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Oh crap. Okay, well, yeah, there's a problem. You all guys know what's going on now. You know what's the cause, or well, not the cause. I mean, I don't even know the cause, but you know why it's happening is what I'm trying to say. And nobody in the chat said anything. Yeah. So, anyways, okay. So, on the album, it's just like it's a fine, like decently mixed, like progressive rock, hard rock, softer acoustic stuff too. It's like Steve Howe, though he's not a very good singer, like at all. Like he does a fine job, but it's like not like particularly like that good. It's just like passable. Ugh. But the album itself, I think, is just fine. A lot of it was like the least well received out of all the second least well received out of like all the Yes member solo albums in '75. Now, like Steve Howe's had like an extensive solo career, some of which has him singing, and I know a lot of people like to joke Steve Howe is a very bad singer, and he is. Alan White, the drummer, former John Lennon drummer, and Yes drummer since like 1975. Alan White, he hasn't done any solo stuff since like this whole thing, the initiative to do some solo projects. Oh, a little bit of an interruption there. So, oh, cool, stream's healthy again. So, yeah, Alan White hasn't done anything solo since. Alan White hasn't done anything solo since then. So, like clearly this didn't work out. Patrick Moraz went on to do solo stuff. He even worked with a former Yes drummer Bill Bruford on like 2 great albums that I illegally downloaded during like one of the best weekends of my life. And no, I refuse to buy digital copies of them because I illegally downloaded the versions I have on like one of the greatest weekends of my life, and I refuse to delete them for that reason alone. And as weird as that may sound. Oh goodness. So like, there's this YouTuber, not YouTuber. I think I mentioned him in like a previous live stream where I said like Joel. Joel. I seen him play around 3D Movie Maker, made me want to try it. And yeah, his movie he made ended up being like 13 minutes, so not as long as like uh about the length of the first Three Perfect Pair episode actually. But he he spent like a combined total like 20 or 30 hours on it, and I want you to keep my like he worked for like 8 hours off stream and like 20 hours on stream doing it. So and he did like a lot of crazy technical stuff with the program though. And, I really thought it like I should be doing with 3D Movie Maker. Like the problem with 3D Movie Maker, like me using it, isn't that like I don't want to use it. It's just the fact that it's a hassle. Yeah, like animation is just hard. It's the whole frame by frame and everything like that. Oh hey, I think that's a song from the King Crimson 3 of a Perfect Pair album. Maybe I should upload, like save a playlist on YouTube and say 3 of a Perfect Pair official soundtrack. I was going to have like a playlist where I like go into detail on like all the songs used in a 3 of a Perfect Pair, like just like call it like 3 of a Perfect Pair soundtrack. And like we go and like play all like the licensed songs, like not licensed, like all the songs that aren't mine that are used in 3 of a Perfect Pair, and like all the ones that are. So like that would include like Vacation by the Go-Go's. Trying to think what else here. That would include Vacation by the Go-Go's. Snakebite by Alice Cooper. Popular Girl by Survivor. Oh, gosh, I'm literally tearing up right now because my nose is so stuffy. I'm trying not to blow it on stream. So I hope you guys know the sacrifice I'm going through right now. Oh. I'm trying to think. Also, that would include. Yeah, I'm not really drawing a blank. A Chili Mason, like an original song I did. Not an original song, a parody of Perry Mason by Ozzy Osbourne that I did. As well as Sweet Pain by Globe. Did a really catchy song. Like, I don't really listen to like pop music kind of stuff, but Sweet Pain is really good. That's a really good song. Oh, no data. What's going on here? Error. Okay, looks like we're back again. wouldn't be a no more cheese dip stream if it wasn't for like some technical difficulties going on here. Oh. So like I have not made any New Year's resolutions because like it's hard to follow a New Year's resolution. But like the most notable thing I've done this year is I started a smear campaign against Tony Hinchcliffe. And for those of you who don't know, Tony Hinchcliffe is an annoying, egotistical racist who is so far up his own butt that I can't tell where he ends and where he begins. Okay, I just really can't stand Tony Hinchcliffe. He's got like this really punchable face, and he's got like this voice where he kind of talks like this. I mean, like seriously, Tony Hinchcliffe just makes me angry like in a rational way. So I had started like a smear campaign against him and have gotten like several ratings. To like make it, I got like several. Like I got it so like his ratings have dropped on IMDb now thanks to my efforts. And now like there's even a review published about like just how annoying like the show is, and it just makes me so happy to know that it is now sub 5 on IMDb. Ugh. Oh, okay, good. No data. What's going on here? Something I'm like, oh, okay. It's a little low energy compared to my other streams because again I'm sick, but I got a pain in my chest now. No, I noticed like watching a YouTuber I used to like to watch. I went back to like recently. I've been going back watching YouTubers I used to watch, but like don't watch anymore. And I know like one I used to really like to watch was Connor the Waffle, and so I'm watching like an old video I really liked of his, and he's like, oh no, I need an adult, and then he looks up like YouTuberBirthdays.com or something like that. Looks up his own birthday. And then it says like, oh wait, I'm an adult. And I thought that was pretty funny. And then I noticed this part where like it's like in the trivia section, and it said like created his YouTube account in 2007. In 2012, he deleted all of his videos uploaded to that point and started fresh. And I got to thinking like, man, he deleted like a lot of his like classic videos, a lot of like old videos. And I want to point out like nobody he was a very like minuscule YouTuber by the time he deleted all his old videos. He wasn't like the beloved video. He wasn't the beloved YouTuber he is now. I don't know if he's still uploading. Is he? Let me check. Oh, he literally just uploaded 8 hours ago. I don't know how I feel about the change to his avatar, but okay. Most popular video has 2.2 million views. It's nice. Despite this, he only has he has several videos over 1 million views. Despite this, he only has 375,000 subs. That's more than I'll ever get. That's it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what they call being humble. got like a headache going right now. So, you know, like, I was writing songs, like, you know, I started like writing lyrics a while ago with a friend of mine. And so, you know, like we wrote this one song together, and I thought like I used this one metaphor, which I thought was really clever. I used like one line I thought was like really clever, and so it was kind of like a sad ballady type song. I took inspiration from "Crying on Saturday Nights" by the Misfits because at the time she was doing a punk rock thing before she got signed to, like an indie label, and she got signed to an indie label like a black metal band. So anyways, we're writing this together, and I really like this line I wrote where it's like there's no more. Yeah, so I'm reading this aloud to myself and thinking like, yeah, this is really awesome. Like I love this. So I'm reading this to myself, and I'm like, yeah. And as I read like the line, I just really thought was cool. There's no more heroes and supervillains. There's no more superheroes and villains anymore, because superpowers can't save you from a broken heart. I'm like, yeah, this is like the coolest thing I've ever written. And then, yeah, I, I'm reading it, and I'm thinking like, and I think to myself like, wow, this is such like horrible self pity. This song, I'm like this song is such like a horrible self pity to whoever's singing it, and you know, like in a way, like crying on Saturday night is like a crying on Saturday night by the Misfits is a self pity. But I mean, like it's a really good song. It's like it's got like a nice structure. The lyrics are nice. Michael Graves kind of does like a crooning thing with his voice, and a lot of Danzig era, a lot of like Danzig only kind of Misfits fans. So and it's just like Danzig era Misfits only, and nothing else. You know, like a lot of them even admit like "Crying on Saturday Night" is just a really good song, and it is. It's just a great song. Oh. So, you know, like in a way, like trying to write my own version of that. It's kind of like, oh, okay. It just it did not turn out anywhere near as well as I wanted it to. And you know, I kind of realized like I'm not that good a songwriter. Like you know, like I need to stick to what I'm good with. And as it happens, what I'm good with is like weird parody stuff. Like any of you, like to any of you who like watch this, you know, like leave a comment or something, or message in the chat in response to this. Like if I were to make music, would you prefer me to try and use the original backing tracks, like a parody? Would you prefer me to use like the original backing tracks if possible, or would you rather I like try and like use like MIDI created like MIDI recreations of the instruments? Because like Chili Mason, the drums and the bass, the guitars were played by a real person. Like their guitars played by like a buddy of mine, but like the same with the keyboards, but and the keyboard, but like the guitars played by a buddy of mine, the keyboards, bass, and the drums were all like done to like technology. It's all done through like some machine that like recreated it. Oh gosh, I'm afraid to talk because I'm afraid I'm gonna cough if I keep doing it. Like that. Okay. Mm. What's that? What's the one like black guy who works like NBC or something? And what's the one guy? He's like a black guy who works for NBC. He's got like this really painfully unfunny show on like the NBC News. I'm trying to remember his name. You know, it'll probably come to me at some point. So, one thing, I was watching a video like what Bohemian Rhapsody got wrong. Now, my brother hates to talk about like Bohemian Rhapsody with me because I'm the kind of guy to bring up like some of the things that got wrong. But this video kind of reminded me of like, yeah, that's right. Freddie Mercury didn't have AIDS by 1985, or at least if he did, he didn't know about it. They just wanted to create like a triumphant, oh yeah, but they still played the Live Aid gig and they played it really well and everything went like really great during that show, and I was like the ultimate comeback performance for them. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with one to have like a narrative like that because it's entertaining. That's just what Hollywood does. And if they did condense a lot of understandably so and respectfully so, they condensed a lot of Queen history, and just for the sake of kind of like streamlining the movie, making it like better paced, and that's fine. Like Mike Myers is a record company executive. Like he didn't play it. Personally, like the scenario with him didn't actually happen, but they put it in there as like tribute to the fact that Wayne's World kind of gave Bohemian Rhapsody like a new life as a song, and it gave Bohemian Rhapsody a new life as a song, and that's totally respectable. Oh. But I was on. So I bring this up though because I was on like about a year ago. I was on rateyourmusic.com. I was on rateyourmusic.com, and there's these forums on rateyourmusic.com. And like there's one thread in the forums called I don't know if it's still like an active thread or not. I haven't been to the Rate Your Music forums since probably like November last year. But anyways, there's the one I'm thinking of is called Songs That Hit You Right in the Feels, and it's about songs that hit you in the feels. So the what? Okay, so anyways, yeah, the one guy there was saying, once one hits me right in the feels is Who Wants to Live Forever. And as I'm reading this, I'm going like, yeah, I feel you, man. That song tends to hit me right in the feels too. That's a great track. So I'm like really agreeing with this guy until he gets to why it hits him in the feels. And I'm like, wait, what? And then he says, as I'm continue reading, he says like, because Freddie Mercury knew he had AIDS at the time, and then knew he had AIDS at the time, was suffering from it, and so like that makes the song like deeply personal. And that makes the song deeply personal. It's about Freddie Mercury asking like who would want to live forever because he doesn't have much time left. He has the AIDS disease slowly killing him, and it's just. As I'm reading, I'm like, you effing dink. You dink, you. It was just. So. Anyways, I'm reading this and I'm like, really, and I respond to it. Like, I know what you're all saying. Like, oh, why would you crush this guy's dreams like that? Because movies like Bohemian Rhapsody sometimes like someone who may not know like the real Queen history might just who got like all their facts from Bohemian Rhapsody might be like twisted into like believing that when that's not how it worked. And so I told them like the truth. I responded to him in a message saying that "Who Wants to Live Forever" was not written by Freddie Mercury. It was written by Brian May as for the soundtrack to the movie Highlander. And in Highlander, the song was in the context of Connor MacLeod, the main character, who is immortal. His in the context of the main character Connor MacLeod, he's immortal, and so he lives forever, unless like someone lops his head off, which would have to be like another immortal because like the rules of immortal. Because, I don't know if any of you have seen Highlanders and like thusly know like how like being an immortal works, but so in the movie he's like, okay, well Connor MacLeod's has like cursed to basically live forever. That's just how it works. So, in the movie, Connor's the song plays because in this one scene, Brian May specifically wrote it for this one scene in the movie, where that's the scene where it plays, where because the Queen saw the movie Highlander, and offered to do like the soundtrack for it. So Brian May, like one scene really hit him in the feels in Highlander was the scene where Connor is with his wife, and like as they're like doing husband and wife things, having fun together, she's getting weaker, and he's like, "Oh no!" And as she's like, he's still the same, like in this thing, it's a montage like her aging rapidly, like she's like she's aging like at a regular pace. Like here we are, like 50 years later, she's like old and gray and on her deathbed, and here he is just like alive and well, like nothing has happened, crying like crying as she's like saying her final words to him. It's a really sad scene. That one hit me right in the feels when I first saw the movie. So in the movie, like the context of the song is like, who would want to live forever? Because you'd outlive all the people you love if you did live forever. Which is why he didn't want to take on like a new girlfriend until after he like stopped being immortal, because then it's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna outlive her or like outlive her by 40 something years this time. So and so I told the guy this, and Freddie had no part in writing this. Freddie, at the time, like Freddie didn't have AIDS. He didn't know about according to Roger Taylor, Freddie didn't even know he had AIDS until after the A Kind of Magic tour. And A Kind of Magic was the album where all the songs they did for the Highlander soundtrack, plus 3 other songs, appeared on. And it wasn't until, according to Roger Taylor, it wasn't until after the A Kind of Magic tour that Freddie had an idea he wasn't well. And so so like Freddie couldn't have had known he had AIDS when he first recorded the song as a duet with Brian. And the guy responds the next day. I go to like check my notifications, and the guy responds saying, "Yeah, of course Freddie Mercury knew at the time. Of course Freddie Mercury knew at the time. He didn't cite Bohemian Rhapsody as a source, but he was saying, of course Freddie Mercury knew at the time that he had AIDS. If you had a disease, of course you'd know about it, right?" And he says, "There's all the wild parties and stuff where Freddie got his AIDS." and that like Freddy, of course, Freddy would know, and that he had kept it, and that like why would Roger know? Because Roger didn't have. And why would Roger Taylor, the drummer, know? Because he's the drummer. He's not Freddie Mercury, and how would he know whether or not like Freddie would have had AIDS or not, or Freddie knew him, he had AIDS, and like Roger wouldn't know. That's not even. Okay, yeah, but you get a point. Oh, you got a point there, but it's just the fact that like the AIDS disease would have gotten him sick. It wouldn't the AIDS. Wouldn't he have died off sooner than 1992 or 3 if he had AIDS since? When was let me look up what kind of magic, see when this is recorded. Album recorded in 1985 to late 1985, September 1985 to April 1986. So for him to have had like the AIDS disease that long, and to just like not, for him to have had the AIDS disease that long, and to have like not, and to like only not be well enough to like perform until 1992, until like 1991 or 92, around that time. Like I find that a little hard to believe. And we do know for a fact that it wasn't until around the time of The Miracle, the making of that album, that the band finally knew Freddie had AIDS. But it's just the fact like this guy didn't the guy's thing is like hypothetical. How would he know and whatnot? When Roger Taylor was his bandmate for, at the time of the Kind of Magic tour, 16 years. Don't you think, like, if anybody would know Freddie was suffering from an incurable disease, it would be Roger? Or Brian, or Brian, even though Brian has not, like, weighed on the subject. Or at least to my knowledge. The guy gave, like, no, like, source or anything to back it up. I know, like, meme of the Giga Chad source, I made it up. Like, that hardly stands, like, any ground in a debate. Oh. I thought you can move their Homo water bottle. Ugh. Oh, God, it's almost in there. I have so many great memories associated with Luther Homa, it's not even funny. How many years did I go? I went there from like every year from like 2015 to 2018. Which would 15, 16, 4 years. Okay, yeah, that's about right. 4 years. So, yeah, I went to Luther Homa for 4 years. And across the 4 years, it was all great, I've had some repeat, I've had repeat people in like my cabin, like before, like there was this one guy, Jackson. he was pretty cool. He's pretty cool. I like a big mole, which is like his most like identifiable thing. He was a really chill dude. I really enjoyed his company. And he got a little obnoxious at times, but he was a really nice guy. I really tried to keep in touch with him, but So, anyways, Jackson is I gave Jackson like my email, my Discord, my phone number. Like, come on, stay in contact. Like, come on, stay in contact. Like, sure. And I remember I gave and like he was in my like I met him like back when I went in 2015, which I would have been like I think 12 years old at the time. And then I had met and then I got him again like on my 4th and final year going there. I'm like, oh hey, yeah, we were in the cabin together like 3 years ago. And they're like, oh yeah, and I had told them like a leaked script for. I remember telling them like a leaked script for Star Wars Episode 7 that predicted Han and Leia dying, and Kylo Ren being his Han and Leia's son. There's some things in that fake script that, and that like it either was fake or it was leaked and like not finalized. But he told me like, man, you got a lot of things. Like, man, in that like leaked script, there was a lot of things that ended up happening in like the actual movies. And I was real glad because I thought like back in 2017, which was before the year before my final year going to Oklahoma, I just thought like, man, if I ever met him again, he'd probably like tear me a new one for like my fact, like a lot of what I said in like that supposed leaked script I heard about. You know, he'd probably like tear me a new one for like a lot of what I said and there being wrong. But no, for one of the first things I was like, man, there's a lot of things happen. There's a lot of things that's the leaked script that ended up happening in the final version, or like across the other movies. I'm like, oh, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm like, yeah. Cool. This day, I still don't know that leaked script is real or fake. Another repeat guy I got him in 2016. I got him again in 2018. And in 2017. His name was Dalton. And he was a... Dalton was a... Dalton's a difficult guy to describe. Like, you know, he memes and stuff, but he's relatively like silent and like he's relatively like silent to himself. Except like when he's joking or like making, or except like when he's joking or making, when he was like joking or something or stating his opinion. My pal Nathan described him as like a bit of a douche at times, which is I'd say is kind of accurate. There's one guy named Michael. He had gone to like the church, my grandmother's church is where I went to Luther with. I went through there with like a group from my grandmother's church, which a lot of people I knew there from the Summer Heights day camp I worked at. So, and the one that I also had attended almost every year from like 2008 to 2017. 9 years. So, anyways, yeah. It was so anyways, like Michael in 20 so 2016, my second year there, Michael was being annoyed. I mean, like, you know, at the time I didn't know this, but like, you know, I knew, like, I did, but like I didn't know the extent. Like, for years I've you know, as people on on the internet like to call it, I like to rephrase it, suffer from ADHD. But again, like I've had ADHD my whole life. I'm not suffering. I'm not like actively suffering like every moment of my life, acting like, oh God, every moment of my life is like sheer pain and torment. But you know, like I had ADHD. And I had like some other stuff too, like what was it, like oppositional defiance disorder, like some other stuff too. But you know, like I didn't know like I had all that, or the extent. So it's like, yeah, I don't. So you know, it's like so I didn't know all that. So like, you know, I couldn't like, and I don't just go around like advertising it to people, though I guess in this case I did. I just did. Yeah. So like nobody. So like I was different. Like, so looking back, like especially in 2016, I was different. Like very weird in comparison to like everybody else, and I was different and weird, especially in comparison to everyone else. And, like I didn't know that at the time, so you know it's like everyone kept asking. 2016 was the year where I just got on everyone's nerves. And that was also like the only year Garrett and I weren't in this. My friend Garrett and I weren't in the same cabin. We were talking like I remember like that year Garrett and I were talking. And, like who's your cabin counselor this year? And he's like, oh, it's Wiki. And then I look over at this Wiki guy and I go, he looks like Professor Birch from Pokemon. And Garrett goes, shut up, Eric. And then he looks over, and then he smirks and like gives a light chug to himself and says, you know what, you're actually kind of right. Like in 2016, there was what's this guy? I don't remember his name. I just remember every time I asked him for it, he'd say like a horse, because that's what everybody called him. He liked to do this thing where it's like on the communal showers. And so we had communal showers and we had like communal showers and bathrooms over at Luther-Homa. He just like to dance like the benches outside, and it'd be like the younger like kids, like the younger kids had the like the old. They had like the newer, better communal showers with like the what they called the poop deck because it's by the toilet, which you know, like communal showers, toilet at the same place. So the communal showers are nice. Like you know, like at the end of a hot day, you know, like taking a nice shower just feels really good. You know, like you just had like a hot day, like taking a cold shower, a hot shower, whichever you prefer, just feels like really good. Like you're washing off like all the gross of that day, and just, oh man, it feels so good. So, anyways, though, you like to dance on like the benches, the poop deck, and like we'd do like this weird wavy arm thing, and like every time like I'd ask him what his name was, it'd be like a Hoss, because like Hoss was like his last name. I remember. He seemed like a cool guy at first, but he kept saying I was annoying him. I didn't think that at first, so I'm like, what am I doing to annoy him? So, and then him and this other guy, he's a fat dude, chubbier dude. He's a chubbier dude. I don't remember his name. But him and I off and on got along off and on, and I think I'd said this in a previous stream. I mentioned this is the same guy who berated me for like getting exhausted and like tired at like the mountain bike trails. And we did around that 3 times. Like, bro, you did not go. And I'm like, bro, you clearly didn't go to the same spot we did this year, which was like a 7-mile mountain biking trail. There's like a 2.5-mile one and a 7-mile one. Like the 2.5-mile one, like gave you a point where it's like the 7.5-mile one gave you a point where it's like use this to go back to the ending, to like the beginning of the like the parking area, like 2.5 miles in. You know, Lincoln Lake, Arkansas. So you could like stop 2.5 miles in, but no, we went the whole 7.5 miles. And man, mountain biking was hellish. Yeah, that was good physical exercise. So Luther Homo was a lot of good physical activity. I mean, that's like my brother David commented like I've gotten a gut like since the pandemic hit. Maybe that's just because I'm not going to Luther Homo anymore. So anyways, I am. So anyways, him and the other guy, the like a hoss guy, were like he kept getting on me, and he kept like getting on me for being annoying. So and I wasn't being annoying at first. Like I wasn't trying to be anyways. But like a lot of people have told me, like especially around that time in 2016, especially I remember that I was just really like annoying, like just naturally. My my sister-in-law, now ex-sister-in-law, especially said that to me a lot. So, anyways, we're so anyways, ugh. So anyways, like Dalton, that was the same year I like first with Dalton. I had him 2016 and again in 2018. And I remember Nathan, my buddy Nathan told me, like I just saw Dalton's balls hanging out of his trunk. And Nathan's was a really down to earth guy. I remember like one time he tried to decipher back 2015, tried to decipher just how many video games playing. Your brain just must like not run out of dopamine when you're playing video games or something. So anyways, Nathan was incredibly unlucky during like all the trips that I had with him, because he had you get it like first like in 2015, he claimed to have like he claims to have like 2017 what first happened was like apparently I hadn't like closed. Well, apparently what happened like 2017 was not 2017, it's 2015. I'm trying to remember what it was. I remember it led to like another event that was really funny. Was it was in 2015. He after nobody was in the cabin, so I tried to change into my swimsuit, like in the cabin while nobody else was there. That's like a lot of people that don't want to do. It's like, okay, everybody, once you leave the cabin, I'm gonna go change my swimsuit. And like, don't do that. Just like change it in the bathrooms. Because like we had a swim every day unless it was raining. Then we wouldn't swim on that day, and so here we are, and like I'm trying to change the cabin, and then Nathan walks in and he goes like, Nathan walks in while I'm pulling up my trunks, and he's like, and he just like, I won't tell anybody what I saw in here. And then later he makes a joke about my Johnson being small. Like he's my friend. I'm not gonna get mad at him over that. And he's like, I've seen it. And then they're like, what, you've seen? Then like one of the other persons at the cabin was like, you've seen it? Then he's like, yeah, and like, yeah, yeah, but he promised me, like he did, like he wouldn't tell anybody what he like that he walked in and saw. So he just explained like he accidentally saw it once. And then like Garrett's getting like, because Garrett and Nathan and I were like in the same class at Summer Heights for like 2 or 3 years in a row. Yeah, 2 years in a row, and so so we knew each other well through that. Garrett's like, when was this? And he's like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. That's like a traumatic memory for me. And then later, during like one of the final nights, like one of the guys, Brandon, he's a cool guy. I think I only had him the 1 year. Saying like, I got like this, I made like the bottom bunk, the fashion the bottom bunk into like a little change room with a little window. And like I could change it without anybody noticing. Oh, that's cool. And I'm like, hey, can I do it? I really got to change. And he goes, yeah, sure. And then like Nathan looks, and around, and Nate's just looking around, and he just sees, and looking around the room, and just casually walking around. Then he sees my but you know where this is going. And I walk out, and so I'm pulling up my regular pants, and while I was looking around, I got like a 3-second glimpse into that little window you put there, and all I saw was Eric's junk. Why did you put that window there? And I vociferously apologized to him for that. My mom wasn't sure if I was going on 2019, but by 2019, I think I was too old. I could have gone like the high school people, but I didn't. I'm doing it. Michael, that Michael person I mentioned earlier, he had like punched me because I was annoying him. You know, this is back 2016 when again I was annoying it. It seemed like I was annoying everyone. And then I'm like, oh gosh, and he's like, he socked me really hard, but like, I wasn't bleeding or anything. I had no physical damage aside from like a pink spot in my face. And he's like, oh hey, and then he's like, oh hey, then Gary, I'm like, oh god, like I'm not tearing up or anything, but no, I'm just sitting there. I'm standing there, like rubbing the place. I'm silent now, like. I will like me being annoying and loud. No, I was silent from that point on. I'm just sitting there being silent the whole time. I'm just chilling. I'm rubbing the spot a little bit, and I'm just like, the whole time. And like I'm just sitting on like one of the like the wooden arm rail, like the wooden railings, like the main like deck where like canteen and everything is like outside the cafeteria. And then Garrett came up to me, and he said like, "I'm sorry, Michael did that to you." And then I'm like, "Oh, it's fine." You know, like Garrett also kind of be annoyed by me, but you know, like I kind of knew I annoyed Garrett, so I tried to avoid like calling him like my friend until like one day, like in 2017, he's like, I remember when I mentioned some friends of mine, he's like, you didn't list me among them. I'm like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm a friend too, and I'm like, oh, he considers me a friend. That's great. I can feel safely say he's my friend. So, yeah, it's fine. You know, it's like I got beaten up a lot, like even in first grade too. And like, if I was there, I wouldn't let that happen. I'm like, oh, thanks. And he says, and then he goes like, Eric, yeah. Then he says, don't tell anybody what Michael did. Like, don't tell anybody what Michael did to you. And I go, why? And he goes like, Michael's gonna get in trouble. And then he's like, oh, and he's like, yeah, Michael. Then he tells me like, I don't remember what it was, but like Michael had like some kind of like condition or something like that. I'm like, okay, I get that. And so I didn't tell anybody, like any of the staff members, what happened, except like when I let it slip by to see it. Except like when I was mountain biking, I let it slip to like the guy who'd stay behind with me when I had like fallen behind. CB, and he's like, "Why did Michael punch you?" I was being annoying, and he goes like, "Well, you should have told something." Like, no, I didn't want to. He's my friend. He's a friend. I don't want to get him in trouble. Like, but if he punches you, it's not okay. You need to let other people know, like, what happened, what he did to you. Okay, it's fine. Like, it's not fine. You were punched. Oh man, you know, I think I'm starting a little better here. I think I'm starting better since like when I started this. This is good, yeah. You know, this is really nice. Like something to just take my mind off, like how like crap I'm feeling. You know, I really felt like talking this much. Maybe keep coughing a lot, but I'm not coughing as much as I was like earlier. So you know, like maybe this is a good thing. I'm doing this. But like in my last trip to Lutherhoma, I was so I guess one guy used to go to some rides. He doesn't anymore because you know like, he grew a bit of a reputation as a troublemaker. His name was Jaden, and like I was kind of homies with his little brother Julian. It was like, how, damn. He's like 3 years younger than me. You know, it was like homies with his little brother Julian. At least I kind of thought so. And so I'm talking with Julian. And Julian goes like, "Oh yeah, Jaden said you were really funny, like during the trip last time." I'm like, what? He goes, "Yeah, Jaden was saying like you were hilarious during like that last trip to Luther Homa." And then like, oh, then I get, and then like when we're all like loading up on the van to go, Jaden's like, "Oh, yeah, you were really funny like during the last trip." And so like on the way back, I'm trying to tell jokes. I'm trying to tell some jokes, and like some of these were like not funny, some were, and you know, like, and they all either bombed or nobody wanted to listen. I'm like, okay. So you know, it's like everyone's like, "Oh man, you were really funny last time," and like they don't want to hear me. And so I'm like, okay, they expect me to be funny this time, and nope. Just all that, like nope. So you know, it's like I guess yeah. I haven't like I don't think I've seen Jaden since then. Like I think that was the last time I saw him. I remember he bought like some Lifesavers gummies. I think he gave me one. It was nice of him. No, yeah. I mean, because I was starving a lot of that trip. One of my favorite memories is like I had 2 double cheeseburgers, and it's like, oh, I had like 2 single cheeseburgers. I got like $5 at McDonald's. We stopped back on the way back at, and like, oh, you ate your food already? And I slammed like both my burger wrappers together, like the woman driving the van. And I'm like, I ate fast. As I clapped together, like, I ate fast. Nate and Garrett thought that was like the funniest thing, so they made fun of that. They don't like this thing they have called Coffee House. I want to tell a story, so I like in 2016 I told a story. 2017 I told a story. And in 2018 I didn't tell a story. I wanted to sing. So I wanted to sing a Daryl Hall and John Oates song called "You Make My Dreams," but that wouldn't fly. So I like doing Private Eyes, and my cabin counselor for 2018, Spud, he's a really nice guy, says, "Eric, I can't let you sing Private Eyes." I'm like, why not? He goes like, "It's a song about looking at people's skirts." So every time it's just another Daryl Hall and John Oates song. He'd explain to me like why that wouldn't work. And I'm like, no, Daryl, Private Eyes is not about like looking up skirts. It's a song like based on the movie. He said it's like based on the movie, like the opening to the movie. Like the movie was a Don. I'm looking it up like after I got back. I'm like, the movie was a rated G Don Knotts and Tim Conaway movie. The movie was a rated G Don Knotts and Tim Conaway movie. I doubt like if the movie was offensive like he said. But so I ended up singing a B.J. Thomas "Raindrops Falling on My Head," which I used to like grab like a pool noodle, like wedge it underneath my shoulders with like my arms. I just like wedge it, like my forearms under it, and like it below my forearms above it, like my upper arms below it, and like another one like under my knees, with like under one of my knees with like my other. Yeah, like under like both my knees, and so I'd float around and sing "Raindrops Are Falling on My Head" by B.J. Thomas, and I do that while and like there's one guy accounts where like whenever she'd be swimming and hear me do that, she'd snap her fingers along to it. And I was doing that once, and a Spud says, "I only know that as like the song that plays in the one scene of Spider-Man 2." He's like, "How would it just be raindrops are falling on my head?" So I do it, and everybody like loves my performance of "Raindrops Are Falling on My Head." And I'm like, wow, everybody loves me doing "Raindrops Are Falling on My Head." So I kind of became synonymous with the song there at camp. And eventually, at first it was for a good reason, because like I gave a great performance of "Raindrops Are Falling on My Head." Because like at the time, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was one of my favorite movies. But then it rained that night, and so like some people blame me for making it rain. And they're like, guys, you don't understand the songs are like, you're not going to stop the rain if you keep complaining about it. So, it's just like, raindrops are falling on my head. So I just got to keep a good best I can do is just keep a good attitude about it until they stop. But they so yeah, a lot of people did get that, but some were like, oh man, he made it rain, like he cursed it, and made it rain by singing B.J. Thomas. I got a YouTuber, and around the time I got into YouTube, I got into a YouTuber called Todd in the Shadows, because one of my favorite artists at the time was Billy Idol, and I still love Billy Idol. I still have a Billy Idol shirt. Anyways, YouTuber Todd in the Shadows, I discovered him because he made a video in his Trainwreck series, which is a series about career-killing albums. And he did it on like Billy Idol's Cyberpunk album. And so I'm watching his review of it, and he says, in there he's and I'm enjoying. And then I start watching a bit of his One Hit Wonderland series. I'm enjoying that too. And then oh goodness, this is where it all goes pear shaped. So I'm listening to I see if I One Hit Wonderland, One Hit Wonderland, Hooked on a Feeling. I'm like, oh, I love this song because B.J. Thomas, I think, did the original version of it, or at least the version I'm familiar with. If it's not the original, that's the version I know is B.J. Thomas's original version. And so I'm watching the video, and then I find out it's like a different Hooked on a Feeling by a group called Blue Swede, and which is famous for being featured in the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie, and then I'm like, oh man, I hate this version now, Whereas a lot of people just know it as the Ooga Chaka version. It's a good, and like now, like that I'm done. All of like my childish searing, a lot of my childish searing hatreds. I now have learned to appreciate that. I've learned to appreciate the Blue Swede version, or the Ooga Chaka version, as some of you may know it as. I've learned to appreciate it's like another version of the song that sounds distinct. It doesn't sound like the B.J. Thomas version. And I'm mad that this version's more popular and is clearly inferior. I still appreciate it as like another version that's also like pretty good. In 2018, what a great year for me that was. Oh, I'm sore. I'm getting kind of cold too. It's getting cold outside. It was hot earlier. Kind of hot earlier, like 70-something degrees. Now it's like probably 60, 50-something degrees. Here, let me check the weather outside. It's 1 a.m. It's 47 degrees outside, yeah. It's supposed to freeze in a week. Wow. Yeah, so I'm probably should end it here. I gotta do dishes here soon. So thank you all for tuning into the stream. I enjoyed doing it. I hope you all enjoyed watching it. If you enjoyed it, well, I'm glad. Whatever interaction you want to give with the video, do that, or the channel, just do that. That'd be nice, Wish me luck in getting better, and let's hope I have a wonderful, let's hope tomorrow's good for me, because I already told you guys earlier, early on the stream, what's happening tomorrow, and yeah. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Yeah. I hope you all have a great day too. That's